Now, somewhere out there in a dusty drawer, an old piggy bank, or even mixed in your pocket change, there could be a tiny coin worth a life-changing fortune. These aren't just coins, they're hidden treasures, small pieces of American history that have exploded in value beyond imagination. And today, we're revealing the top 3 most valuable rare Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. Coins that have shaken auction houses, stunned collectors, and turned ordinary people into overnight millionaires. They look completely ordinary, simple, harmless, but behind that copper shine hides unbelievable value. Some of these pennies are so rare, so highly demanded, that holding one feels like holding buried treasure, a secret fortune most people will never even know exists. But you're about to discover them all. Stay till the end, because the number 1 coin on this list will completely blow your mind. And don't blink, you might already have one of these sitting somewhere in your home right now. Welcome to Rare Coin X USA, the channel where everyday pocket change turns into incredible stories of hidden wealth. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because we drop powerful updates daily, and these treasures don't wait. Now let's begin. Coin number 1. Now listen to me very carefully, because what you're about to learn could completely change the way you look at the coins in your pocket, your drawer, or even an old jar sitting in your home. The 1943 wheat penny with the D mint mark is not just another coin. It is one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in American history, and under the right conditions, it can be extremely valuable. The year 1943 was unlike any other year in U.S. coin production. Due to World War II, copper was needed for wartime supplies like ammunition and electrical equipment. As a result, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic change. Instead of the usual copper composition, pennies in 1943 were struck using zinc-coated steel. This is why most 1943 wheat pennies have a silver or gray appearance rather than the traditional reddish-brown copper color. Now, here's where things get interesting. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark under the date, produced millions of these steel pennies. At first glance, they may seem common, and many of them are. But not all 1943 D wheat pennies are created equal, and some are worth far more than others depending on their condition, rarity, and unique characteristics. When you examine this coin, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1943. Just below the date is the D mint mark, indicating it was minted in Denver. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic wheat stalk design framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, which gives this coin its iconic wheat penny name. Most 1943 D steel pennies that have been circulated are relatively affordable, but the real value comes into play when you find one in high-grade condition. Coins that have minimal wear, sharp details, and original luster are significantly more valuable. Steel coins are especially prone to rust and corrosion, so finding one that has been well preserved over the decades is much more difficult than you might think. Collectors pay close attention to grading, which ranges from heavily worn coins to pristine mint state examples. A 1943 D wheat penny graded MS65 or higher is already considered desirable, but the value increases dramatically as the grade improves. Coins in MS67 or higher are extremely rare and can command impressive prices in the collector market. But the real excitement comes from rare variations and errors. Some 1943 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets from 1942. These copper 1943 pennies are among the most famous and valuable coins in the world. While most of these rare copper errors were produced at other mints, any 1943 penny with unusual color or weight should immediately grab your attention. There are also other types of errors to look for, including double die strikes, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. These errors can dramatically increase a coin's value, turning what might seem like a minor flaw into a major opportunity for collectors and treasure hunters. One simple test many collectors use is the magnet test. Since standard 1943 steel pennies are made of steel, they will stick to a magnet. If you ever come across a 1943 penny that does not stick to a magnet, you may be looking at something extremely rare, possibly even a copper error coin. That's the kind of discovery that can change everything. Another important factor is the coin's surface condition. Steel pennies were coated with zinc to prevent rust. But over time, many of these coins have developed spots, discoloration, or corrosion. Coins that have clean, bright surfaces without damage are far more desirable and valuable in the marketplace. The demand for 1943 wheat pennies continues to grow because they represent a unique moment in history when the U.S. Mint adapted to wartime needs. This combination of historical significance and collectible appeal makes them highly sought after by both beginner and advanced collectors. Many people overlook these coins because they assume all pennies are the same, but experienced collectors know better. They understand that even small differences in condition, composition, or minting errors can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth thousands, or even more. If you have a collection of old coins or access to loose change, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect every 1943 penny you find. Look at the color, test it with a magnet, check the details, and search for anything unusual. You never know what you might discover. Storage and preservation are also key. Keeping coins in a dry, controlled environment and avoiding direct handling can help maintain their condition and protect their value over time. Even a small improvement in condition can significantly increase what a collector is willing to pay. Now here's the moment that truly puts things into perspective. While many 1943 wheat pennies are affordable, the rare and exceptional examples have reached incredible heights in the market. The highest price ever recorded for a 1943 wheat penny at auction is $298,000, showing just how valuable this coin can become under the right circumstances. So, the next time you come across a 1943 wheat penny with a D mint mark, don't ignore it. Take a closer look, test it, study it, and understand what you might be holding. Because hidden among these small steel coins could be a piece of history that's not only rare, but potentially life-changing in value. Coin number 2, this is the coin, the 1945 wheat penny with the D mint mark, a small copper coin that most people would overlook without a second thought, yet hidden inside its simple design is a story of history, rarity, and surprising value that could turn an ordinary collection into something extraordinary. If you're holding one of these coins or think you might have one tucked away somewhere, you need to pay very close attention because this is not just another old penny, this is a piece of American history that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1945 wheat penny was minted during the final year of World War II, a time when the world was undergoing massive change and the United States economy was shifting from wartime production back to peacetime stability. These coins were struck in huge numbers, but not all of them are equal. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark on the coin, produced millions of these pennies, yet only a tiny fraction of them today hold significant value, and even fewer reach the level of being considered rare and highly desirable by collectors. Rare and highly desirable by collectors. When you look at this coin, the first thing you'll notice is the classic design, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, strong and detailed, facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1945. Just beneath the date, you'll find that small but powerful D mint mark. On the reverse side, you'll see 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that gives this coin its famous nickname, the wheat penny. But what makes the 1945 D wheat penny truly interesting isn't just its design, it's the condition, rarity, and unique characteristics that determine its value. Most circulated coins have been worn down over decades of use, losing their fine details and original shine. These are usually worth only a small amount above face value. However, when you find one in exceptional condition, especially one that still has its original red luster, you're looking at something entirely different. Collectors categorize these coins based on their color and condition: brown BN, red-brown RB, and red RD. The red versions are the most valuable because they have retained their original mint brilliance. These coins are extremely difficult to find in high grades because copper naturally oxidizes over time, turning darker and losing that freshman appearance. Now here's where things start to get really exciting. Some 1945 D wheat pennies were struck with errors or unique characteristics that make them stand out dramatically from the rest. These include off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and other minting anomalies. Even a small error can significantly increase the value of the coin, sometimes turning an ordinary penny into a highly sought-after collectible. Another important factor is grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A 1945 D wheat penny graded in mint state, especially MS-65 or higher, is already considered a premium coin. But when you start getting into the MS-67 or MS-68 range, you're entering elite territory where only a handful of coins exist in such pristine condition. Think about this for a moment. This coin has survived decades, possibly passing through thousands of hands, enduring changes in environment, and still maintaining enough detail and quality to be graded at the highest levels. That alone makes it special, but the market value attached to such coins is what truly captures attention. Many people unknowingly spend these coins or leave them sitting in jars, completely unaware of their potential worth. That's why coin hunting has become such a popular activity, because treasures like this are still out there, hiding in plain sight. Every time you check your pocket change, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than 1 cent. The demand for wheat pennies, especially those from the 1940s, continues to grow as collectors seek to complete their sets or invest in tangible assets with historical significance. The 1945 D wheat penny stands out because it represents both accessibility and rarity. It's common enough to be found, yet rare enough in top condition to command serious money. If you're serious about identifying a valuable example, you need to examine your coin carefully. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, clear lettering, and strong wheat lines on the reverse. Check the color. Does it still have that bright red tone, or has it darkened over time? And most importantly, inspect it for any unusual features or errors that could set it apart from the rest. Storage also plays a crucial role. Coins that have been preserved properly away from moisture, heat, and handling have a much better chance of retaining their value. Even something as simple as fingerprints can reduce a coin's grade and, ultimately, its price. Now here's the part that truly changes everything. While many 1945 D wheat pennies are modestly priced, the rare high-grade examples have reached astonishing levels at auctions. The highest price ever recorded for a 1945 D wheat penny at auction is $185,000, proving that even a single penny can become a life-changing asset under the right conditions. So the next time you come across a 1945 wheat penny with a D mint mark, don't dismiss it as just another old coin. Take a closer look, examine every detail, and consider the possibility that you might be holding something incredibly valuable. Because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest discoveries often lead to the biggest rewards. Coin number 3. What if I told you that a single penny, something most people wouldn't even think twice about, could be worth more than a brand new car, more than a down payment on a house, even enough to change a life? Right now, all across the United States, people are unknowingly spending coins that are not just pennies, but silent fortunes, hidden treasures that collectors are desperately searching for. Coins that look ordinary, worn, and completely unremarkable, but are actually some of the most valuable pieces in American numismatic history. And today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and valuable of them all, the 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary. Small, copper-colored, slightly darkened with age, maybe a little scratched, possibly showing signs of wear from decades of circulation. To the casual observer, it's just another penny, something that might be tossed aside, ignored, or spent without a second thought. But that is exactly why it is so extraordinary. Because behind that unassuming surface lies a story of history, rarity, preservation, and collector demand that transforms an ordinary penny into a potential treasure. The D mint mark indicates that this penny was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1953, millions of these coins were struck. On paper, that might make it seem common. But here's the truth. Numbers alone do not determine value. What really matters is condition, survival, and collector interest. Most 1953 D wheat pennies spent decades in circulation. They were handled countless times, dropped, scratched, exposed to air and moisture, and gradually lost their original details and sharpness. Over time, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln could become smooth, the reverse wheat stalks could fade, and the coin's original shine could disappear completely. That's what makes surviving high-grade examples so rare. Collectors aren't just looking for a coin with the right date or mint mark. They're looking for a coin that escaped heavy circulation, a coin that retains sharp detail, clarity, and luster. Take a close look at Lincoln's portrait. Are the details in his hair visible? Is the jawline defined? Are the features crisp? Then examine the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they clear and well-defined or flattened and worn? These details are critical, and even small differences can dramatically affect a coin's value. Another major factor is color. A 1953 D-wheat penny may appear in brown, red-brown, or full red. Brown coins have been exposed to oxidation and handling. Red-brown coins are partially preserved, while full red coins retain almost all of their original copper brilliance. A full red penny is the ultimate prize for collectors. Its vibrant color and preserved surface are evidence that it has been carefully stored, protected, and untouched for decades. Original mint luster indicates that the coin has not been heavily circulated or damaged, which increases its desirability in the collector market. Many people unknowingly spend these coins or store them without realizing their potential value. That's why coin hunting remains so popular today, because valuable coins are still circulating or sitting in old collections waiting to be discovered. The 1951 D-wheat penny is a perfect example of how something small can still hold surprising worth. If you ever come across one, you should take a closer look at it instead of ignoring it. Check the details, examine the mint mark, and assess its condition carefully. Even small differences in appearance can make a major difference in value. Serious collectors often pay close attention to subtle features that most people would never notice. Storage is also extremely important. Coins that are kept in protective holders, away from moisture and direct contact, tend to maintain higher grades over time. Proper preservation can significantly impact long-term value, especially for copper-based coins like the wheat penny series. The demand for wheat pennies remains strong because they represent an important part of American numismatic history. Each coin tells a story of its time, and collectors are constantly searching for better examples to complete sets or invest in rare finds. The 1951 D-wheat penny continues to attract attention because of its availability combined with the potential for high-grade rarity. Now, here is something that truly shows the power of this coin in the collector market. While many examples are affordable, the rare, high-grade, or error versions of the 1951 wheat penny have reached extraordinary levels in auctions. The highest price ever recorded for 1951 wheat penny at auction is $290,000, proving that even a simple-looking penny can turn into a highly valuable collectible under the right circumstances. So, if you ever find a 1951 wheat penny with a D mint mark, don't underestimate it. Take the time to examine it carefully, because what looks like a common coin could actually be a rare opportunity hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone who understands its true value. And there you have it, the hidden world of rare wheat pennies that most people walk right past every single day. Some of these coins have already changed lives. Others are still out there, waiting to be found in everyday pocket change. The question is, how many have you already spent without knowing? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still uses cash, because they might be holding one of these coins right now. And I want to hear from you. Comment below if you've ever found an old wheat penny or any rare coin in your change. Also, before you leave, make sure to watch our previous video on Don't Take That Risk. Stay tuned, because in the next video, we're going even deeper into coins that look ordinary but are worth a fortune. See you in the next one.